Hey guys, it's Christine Bertram and
Karissa Alberts.
here again for you on our final part of our three-part series where we did Tip Tuesday, Technique Thursday, and another Technique Thursday with regards to the alcohol blending. And today what we're going to do, it's April 7th, by the way. Make sure to catch Chris later for game night. Woohoo! I felt like Kelly there for a second. What we're going to do today for the Technique Thursday is show you a different way to use rubbing alcohol with your blends. And this one involves a spritzer. Where last week, Thursday, in case you missed it, Karissa used the water painters or aqua painters with alcohol and dipping into a jar. This time, she's got a spritzer that's filled with all rubbing alcohol, and she's gonna walk through the process of how she would use that on vellum. And at the very end, we are going to show off some extra cards that she made and the class cards that she did a couple weeks ago at the retreat. So I'm gonna see here why I've got yellow exclamation mark for the internet. And now I hope it's fixed. All right, you guys, so we're gonna flip the camera down and we're gonna go right to town.
I don't have blends.
Oh, what color blends do you need? Coral, crumb cake?
Coral, crumb cake, and soft succulent.
I think I can help you. Coral, soft
All
succulent.
right. So this is the card I'm going to work on.
Yay!
It's got the Paradise Palms stamp set and dies.
There's the stamp
There's the
set.
stamp set.
Okay, I got these there.
All right. So this is my piece of vellum. You always want to use vellum because it's non-porous. The ink isn't going to, or the blends is not going to suck into the paper because you want it to be able to move. And then first I'm going to start with the light and the dark crumb cake. And then we're going to go into the light and dark soft succulent. And then the light and dark calypso coral. So to make my scene, is what I call it, I'm going to start with the light crumb cake. I'm just going to draw on the bottom.
And we talked about this last week about the blends and the tip. So in case you missed it, she's using the brush end.
Yep, use the brush end, and I kind of hold it. I don't know how
Horizontal.
it's like horizontal with the paper, so then you're using most of
The brush tip.
most of the brush tip, and not just the tip of it.
And be careful on the edges.
Yep, and be careful on the edges, otherwise you're gonna slice open your brush. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna kind of make some lines with the darker one, just to give it some depth.
Yep.
When you actually add the alcohol. So then I'm going to go to the lighter soft succulent. Thank you.
You're gonna do the whole area again.
And then I'm just going to color up as far as I want to go. And there's no rhyme or reason of how much I'm putting down or how little I'm putting down. It's just kind of however you want to make your background look.
And you saw how she did the edge there. Instead of going back and forth on the edge, she went brush, 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 brush.
Yep, you kind of want to flick it.
So that you're not coming back
Backwards.
across the edge of the paper.
Yep. And then I'm just going to go in there with some dark. Just to give it some depth. And then I'm going to go in with the lighter calypso coral.
Coral.
And I'm just going to scribble, scribble, scribble. There is no rhyme or reason to these. It's a kindergartner can scribble, you can scribble. It's
Balmy blue would be a cool color too to do water. This looks very like I'm down in the Caribbean with the greeny water. There are no pool party blends, are there? No,
think so.
pool party would have been
Balmy
magnificent.
blue, yeah.
Balmy blue, okay.
And
Okay.
then I'm just going to add in more dark because I want my sky to be really, really vibrant. Because I love a vibrant sunset or sunrise, whichever one it is. Or it could just be a sunny day in
Paradise.
balmy Florida.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
So now we have our color laid down.
I'm moving the sample card out of the way, guys, so it does not get all full. So
All right.
this in this spritzer is
91% or higher isopropyl alcohol.
so.
Which looks like whoop,
Hmm?
this way.
Yeah, you can get it where? At Walgreens?
Walgreens, Walmart, Costco,
Costco, okay.
anywhere that sells.
Yeah, because I had Stacy Warner asking me where to get it because she couldn't find it. I said try Walgreens because that's where you generally find this kind of stuff.
Yep, it is hard to find right now because a lot of people were using it to make hand sanitizer.
And all of that is filled with it, not
Yep,
water. It's
there's
just
no
all
water.
100% rubbing alcohol.
Yep.
Okay.
The biggest thing is to make sure you know where your little
Nozzle
spritzer is.
Yep. And so just to fill this, you guys, if you don't have these spritzers, they come 2 in a pack.
Yep.
Go that way. That they come 2 in a pack. They're like $3.50 or $4.
$3.
$3 for
think
2
so.
of them. And all
The
you do
top
is you have the top
unscrews.
unscrews and you just fill it up.
Yep,
Okay.
you fill
Simple.
it up. Screw the top back on.
A tip on this, you guys, if you wanted to add color to it, you could add a few drops of a re-inker to it and make a colored spritzer, okay? Okay, so that's super cool. Another little tip for you guys. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Yep, heat tool's here.
Okay. So then, is my puffer over there?
What? Yeah, you need a puffer.
is
Is
that?
it in your bag? Oh, it's right here.
It should
The
be
puffer.
right
Okay, so
Okay.
you guys, this puffer came out in the early 2000s. You could buy it from Stampin' Up. So this is not a Stampin'
Not
Up brand.
Stampin' Up.
I do have a Stampin' Up brand. This is meant for you to put a marker in it. And just so you guys understand what this is, where did you buy this, by the way? This is like a sidetracking, just to show people what this is. Because we're going to be using it in a second. So what you do is you put this marker in here. You got to open it up. So there's this little
Little screw.
screw thing, and you have to get it so that you can fit your marker in there. And I gotta go a little bit more. Where did you buy this?
I bought a huge lot of stuff from a person that was getting out of crafting.
Okay,
So
so this
It was
is
a
the
whole bunch of
contraption.
stuff.
It's meant for markers.
Yep.
I call it the puffer. And when you puff it, what it does is it spritzes color onto your paper. I don't want to do it because I don't want to get that color in the ball. Sometimes I found when I used this thing, when it inhales color too. And so you got to be careful. So you can clean this out with some water, but I'm not going to go all crazy with it. But that's what this tool is. And that's the puffer she's talking about.
yep. I don't use the marker end. I just use it to move color.
To use it. Yep, or that, yeah.
Yep.
I used to do it to add, it added like color, but we do that a lot now with a Stella pen.
Yep.
We take the Stella pen and spritz it with color. Yep. Okay.
All right.
Continuing.
So now my color is laid down. I'm just going to take my spritzer and I'm going to spritz not too much, but not too little, just to get the paper wet.
And again, make sure you're pointing at the paper and
Yep.
not backwards and get it in your eye.
And then I'm going to take the puffer and I'm just gonna move the color around. And when you're doing backgrounds, you have to do it a couple times. Sometimes you can get it on the first try, but I tend to do a couple layers. I'm gonna spritz a little bit more. You could also use your heat tool to do this. This is a little bit more controlled for your the colors. Okay, the heat tool.
You sure can.
So I'm gonna dry this, and then I'm gonna put another layer on.
Yeah, because it looks like the crumb cake got really light.
Yep.
I probably talked too long about the puffer and it dried. Because it's probably better to do that right after you color it because
Yep.
it's
The
a little
color's
wet
still
yet.
wet. Yep.
Okay, learning experience, guys.
All right. So I'm just gonna dry it. Why is it curling it so much?
I got it. Okay.
All right. If you get it too wet, it's gonna curl. And then if you heat it, so then I'm gonna take my colors again,
Do the dark.
do the dark one for the crumb cake.
Takes a little bit of practice on this one, I think.
Yes. And then I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of the soft succulent, the dark one. And then I'm gonna go in with the Calypso Coral.
Coral.
And go over that. And I'm gonna go over the color below it a little bit, just so that the colors kind of blend out a little bit more.
Yeah, you can see that on this card. Kind of blend together. And this one, she covered it up with a tag.
Yep.
Okay. All right,
And
spritzer
I'm
up.
gonna spritz it. And I'm gonna use the heat tool right
Yep,
away.
right away.
All right, and then if I blow on it, so I have a lot of color, or a lot of water, but and since it's curling up, it's all going to pool in the middle. So I'm gonna try and hold it without burning
Your
myself.
hands. Here, let's use this otherwise.
And then when the color dries and moves, it's going to leave kind of cool, lane, streakiness.
I got it.
Okay. So then you have this kind of effect. The top is still a little wet.
It's hot too, baby.
I know it is.
Don't burn your fingers.
So I'm gonna just flip it over and I'm gonna dab off the water or the wetness. So then you have this piece. And yes, there could be a big brown streak through it. Your blue might, or your soft succulent might run up into your orange. It's, no sky is perfect. Though every
sky is perfect, actually.
Oh, okay,
right?
every sky is perfect, but
because we get to see it.
Right.
Yep.
But
So,
your colors aren't
yes,
going to be in complete
control.
Trying to control
They're not going to go
lines.
exactly where you wanted them,
Right.
particularly. And don't dismiss this, because once you put the entire card together, you're going to be surprised at how it actually looks good.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. So now the fun part is trying to glue this down.
Down. Okay. So
So.
let's move this back into sight.
Okay.
And we're done with this little guy and this little guy. So if you don't have 5 hands, figure out something else
Yep.
to help hold.
Usually, if my paper would curl like this really bad, which it doesn't happen very often.
One thing before you do that, you were going to talk about the vanilla versus the white, but that's okay. It's okay because we can still, we'll talk about this.
Okay.
So
I will hold it.
So, and it's hard because, so this card, you guys, what we wanted to talk about is that she used vanilla here and vanilla on the inside because that was really nice and warm. But she did decide to go with a white background for the base of this because it just brightened it. And that's where it's awesome to get different things out and see it looks warmer and not as crisp, right? So just a thought, and we talked about this on the last Technique Thursday, that you want to try different backgrounds underneath the vellum once it's colored. Okay, have fun gluing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Maybe put glue on the white. Yep.
So my white is the same size as my
Vellum.
vellum, so I'm just gonna glue the white piece, and then hope for a miracle.
Get the corners lined up good. And if you do end up with a little white exposed, you just take your scissors and you trim it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Usually, if I have a lot of curling, I would
Put a book over
put
it,
a book over it or something on it to let it.
like really dry. Like when you were in second
Yep.
grade and you were doing your art project and your leaves needed to be flat
Yep.
and you didn't want them curling up after you glued them.
Yep.
You put books. I remember having encyclopedias all over the kitchen table while I was working on a school project.
Yep.
And they took over the whole kitchen. Oh, cool.
So then, when you have it down,
So that white cardstock is really going to help hold that in place with the curling. But
Yep.
she's, if you watched last week, she's trying to like seam out the glue so it spreads out really good, so you don't see a line.
yep. All right. So then there's the background.
Okay, we're done with that.
Yep.
Okay, that looks like a disaster waiting to happen. So
All right, and then I'm going to put it onto my black mat.
this is one of the cards that Karissa did for her class a few weeks ago during the retreat. And she had everything all kitted up. And she didn't realize it till when? Like
The day of class.
the day of class, that she cut all of the black pieces slightly taller than this. And nobody said anything to her in class. And that's generally how it goes because nobody wants to say anything. But I told her that it looks perfectly fine with having the black. And you'll see this when the card comes together, that it has a black top and a bottom to it.
Yep.
And it'll look just great. Yep, perfect.
All right, and then
What do you have on the inside? I don't even remember.
little trees.
Oh, we need the little trees out. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, you got them out. Yeah, you. Okay.
All right, and then I'm gonna use my tear and tape to do my ribbon. Or my linen thread. I like linen thread.
Oh, lovely.
Linen thread is
It
one
is-
of my favorite.
It is currently out of inventory, so it's out of stock. So if you go to try to order linen thread right now, it's not available. Just know it's carried over to the annual catalog, so it will be available as soon as it's back in stock. So don't cry for me, Argentina, on that one. I would have to say, Karissa, and my favorite thread ribbon is linen thread.
Yes.
It can go everywhere.
Yep. Linen thread, crumb cake.
I love early espresso too. Oh, we need a bow. Okay, so
need
Karissa
a
said I'm in
triple
charge
bow.
of making a triple bow. So you guys, for those of you, these are bow makers. I get them from a local source. I actually used to babysit for his kids about 30 years ago, and he makes them for me now. So they don't look exactly like this one. They are slightly bigger. I did a Tip Tuesday about a year ago. It was February of last year. So you have to search bow maker in the Cards by Christine page, and you can see that video. It is about 30 minutes or 24 minutes long. She wants me to make a triple bow. So I put the pegs where I need them, and triple means going around 3 times. So this is 1 and 2, and I keep pulling this until I have enough to go around 3 times. And you want to make sure your tail is long enough that you're able to cross them up and over, back under. Now here's the thing that I started to do too. That's 1 loop in the front. But if you want to make it snazzy, you could go around again and a 3rd time if you want. Because then you have 3 there, 3 bunny ears. You're only going to have 2 tails coming out, but that's okay. The only way you could get the 3 tails is by taking 3 pieces of ribbon. And so now I've tied that, knotted it. It's not even a knot, it's just a really tight 1 knot, I guess. I don't know. You need those, and that's paper actually, so it'll work though. So there we've made this cutesy, insy, teensy little baby adorable bow. And it's got 3 and then 3 loops through the front. And so that kind of matches with her whole, like the 3 there. So it's so cool.
Yep, and I saved ribbon so I didn't go all the way around. I just kind of
Yep.
caught it on the tear and tape on the back. And I'm going to make your tear and tape sandwich.
So the bow makers, you guys, if anybody needs to get their hands on bow makers, I do have them. He just made 36 new ones because I just went through 25 of them in the last 2 months. Isn't that crazy? They go for $7 plus shipping.
All right, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Put my front panel side.
So this sentiment comes from this stamp set. Also, happy birthday's in there, retirement wishes, some cool fonts on that one. This set, you guys, is Carrying Over.
All right, so I got my sentiment inked up. I'm gonna line it up, shut my eyes, and hope for the best.
And not get a halo.
And not get a halo.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Stamp off real quick and then I'll clean it. Perfecto changeo.
And then I'm going to cut my,
Yep, so perfect tip here, you guys.
yep, so I have
The same size.
same size labels.
And where did that label come from?
That is from,
I had somebody ask me that and I had to think about it and I figured it out.
is it Harvest Meadow?
Yeah, the Harvest Dyes.
Yep,
Yep, very cool. They're 2 cool labels.
yep. So I just snipped it in half,
Yep.
and then I'm gonna glue it to each end.
So this is the perfect tip for you guys if you want to have some accent color on a label. Just cut it in a second color of cardstock and then cut it in half vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. Sometimes that works too.
I'm gonna put that end down, and then,
Oh man, that was my stomach. Okay, you guys. Holy hungry am I. Wowzer. I don't know if you guys heard that on the camera, but Karissa just rolled her eyes and looked at my stomach. Woo! This girl's gotta eat soon. We've been working hard at this, you guys.
when I lined it up and made just the 2 different end colors.
Okay, now you need the trees maybe on the
Yep,
inside.
I need
Is that
my-
what you want to do?
Yep, I need to stamp my trees and the happy birthday on the inside. I figured that went well.
Also
The-
from that same stamp set, guys. So we're keeping it in the family here.
And I'm just gonna put those in the corner.
And then what would you do with this little bit of that? Would you save that for something? Because you can make a
You can
tinsy-
make a tinty
little
little
bow.
bow.
Okay, so you guys, even the smallest amount of linen thread gets saved here.
Yes. Can't
Okay.
throw away linen thread.
No.
And I'm gonna ink up my happy birthday for the inside and then stamp that right in the middle.
Cool.
All right. I just stuck it in the corner.
All good.
Thank you. All right, so now I can get glue happy. So I'm going to glue in the crumb cake piece I embossed with Painted Textures,
Carrying over.
which is carrying over. Thank
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah. We needed that one to carry over because it's so versatile.
Glue that, and then I'm going to glue my inside. And then I can glue them both down without sticking one in the glue.
We like that trick.
And with the glue, it's wonderful because you can wiggle it into place. So you get it lined up nice. And then we're gonna put down the crumb cake.
It's a good crumb.
It is. All right, and then I'm going to pop up my palm tree panel.
Here you go.
Big dimensional.
So she left the tear and tape backing on there. And why did you do that?
So that when you push it down, it doesn't try and stick to the tape.
Right? And then you get like kind of a warpy look, right?
Yep.
Perfect.
Just do that.
And so I would actually, just because it's me, you don't want the saggy middle, I like to do 2 more right there.
I was just trying to save time.
Oh, we don't have to save time. I thought you were going to say save dimensionals. I'm like, they're only like a penny each, not even. We don't need saggy middles. That's our joke that we have with the dimensionals. You don't want saggy middle.
It's just going in a box. And I'm gonna center that in the middle of the card.
Good job. The black accent is so cool.
Go with it. All right, and then I'm going to
Do
pop up
your
my
label?
And I'm just gonna put a couple in the corners because I want the middle open because that's where my ribbon or the linen thread is. And you don't want to put a dimensional on there because then you're gonna have too much bulk and it's gonna be all wonky.
Right, you create a channel.
Yep.
Whoa, let it go.
Throwing stuff.
Throwing stuff on the floor here. Oh, I know what you can Stella on this card.
You want to Stella the trees?
And I'll Stella them.
I will allow you to Stella the
Oh,
trees.
thanks for letting me have the honor.
All right, so then I'm going to put my sentiment down here.
Guys, everybody's thinking that she forgot to put her trees down, but she didn't.
I didn't. I wanted to put my sentiment down so I knew how far to cut my trees up.
Mm-hmm. We're almost done. Stella in action here.
And then for the palm trees, I'm going to put one dimensional on the back of the top of them so that they pop up on the top. And then we can take one of them off. And then I'm going to align it up right here.
So there's one there.
And then I'm going to trim my trunk. And then I just tuck my trunk in there.
Mm-hmm.
You could put a little dab of glue if you
glue.
choose to, or a glue dot or something if you wanted to. And I'm gonna set my other tree down, trim off my trunk, tuck in my tree, and then I'm gonna put my bow on with a glue dot. And I set it right there in the corner. And then I have my tails come out.
Very cool.
And then I gotta finish it with Chris's favorite
Oh,
embellishment.
yeah.
We got the iridescent rhinestones.
Mm-hmm.
They're so pretty on this card because they pull the
And I
colors
pull all
right
the
out
different
of
colors out, yeah.
it. It's gonna stick to my finger because I have glue on my hands.
They're hard to get off when you got glue on your fingers.
And then we'll do another one right there.
So you guys can see how once you put everything on it, it kind of masks the little line that came through.
Yep.
And you would never think that you didn't try to do that, right?
Right. It just looks like it was meant to be that way.
Mm-hmm. Super pretty. And you guys, when you do ink blending like this, they're never going to turn out exactly the same.
Nope.
And do you do something along the lines of making a big piece and then cutting it down after it's done? And like, or do you like to do little strips like this? Or would you have done like a sheet maybe this big and then cut it down later at the end? Is it easier to work in small pieces or large pieces?
I tend to do smaller pieces.
Okay.
I design my card and then I figure out how big I want the vellum. Or like I use my scraps a lot.
Yeah.
Because when you cut a mat, you have these little tiny strips
there you
or
go. Yep.
whatever. So I go in my
Scrap drawer?
my scrap drawer of
Yeah.
vellum and I grab whatever I have. And then I design my card kind of around that so I
Okay.
don't waste all the vellum that's little pieces.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a great idea. Okay, so you guys, we're not done yet. That was basically the technique, but we want to show you some other samples that have been made by Karissa. So we're going to flip the camera back down and check the internet thing why it's yellow again. Okay, so very, very good job. I love it. So let's put this away. Oh, I wanted to show you guys. So this was the card that Chris made, but this is another card Chris and I made. It's coming up for the April monthly class. And if you are not confident in your blending abilities, the New Horizons paper is the perfect set of designer paper to make a card very similar to this because they have a lot of the sunsetty scenes and it's just a 2-inch strip, so you get 3 of them out of one 6x6 sheet. And then to take it a step further, here's another sample using this Paradise Palms and then using the palm tree as the center kind of focal point with a beautiful sunset and using some more of that New Horizons paper. So those are those samples. We did want to show you, this was from, if you guys watched Tip Tuesday on Tuesday, a couple days ago, you would have seen where Karissa did a little bit of the gold. You guys, this card was made by me last, I think, May. So May of 2021, I did a paper pumpkin because the paper pumpkin was expressions in ink. So if you want to see that paper pumpkin, I also did so a little bit with the ink blending. You can see here the example of how we use gold. She teased me because I didn't let it dry and I got a lot of chunkies here of the gold. So that's what it looks like if you have it a little bit thicker, okay? But it still turned out beautiful, I think. Yeah, a lot of gold, and then we have some more samples that we want to show you. So some of these are from the card class that Karissa did. So this is one of them. And this is an example of the deer card that she did from class. And this is one background that is ink blended. And then here's the other one. So this one has more greens in it. And then that one has the coral and raspberry. Is that raspberry? Cherry gobbler. Blackberry. Oh man. Okay, cool. So the same card, but with different backgrounds. So that was what everybody did in that class. She also did this card in the class. So there was 2 classes, 3 cards each class. And then this was one of them. And look at this, you guys. There's the bow on the opposite side. So just showing you that you can switch it up. This was another one. Now here we wanted to talk about this. The vellum. You guys see that? It has black scribbly lines all over it. That is the layering vellum designs. So you don't have to just use plain vellum. Grab that pack. And is that carrying over? Yeah. Oh man. Okay. That layering designs from the spring mini catalog is carrying over to the annual catalog. So that's super cool. There's 3 different patterns and both in black and white font or colors. Here's her cookies. It's all about the cookies. So, so here she has crumb cake, right?
Just crumb cake,
Just
light
crumb
and
cake, light and dark. This was a card she did for one of the classes, the Nature's Harvest stamp set, and the triple bow again, and coral, soft succulent, and crumb cake. Yep. So those are the samples from the class that she did. Now she's got more that you guys have never seen before.
So this is I don't know if you're gonna be able to see the embossing. It's with the Snow Buddies Better. So it's got the little Snow Buddies embossed in silver in the background.
Yep, and that was from the Holiday Mini Catalog.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I used the white crinkle and I just colored it dark, the Misty Moonlight to match the card. And then I did this one for a swap card.
Oh yeah, I have that one. So you guys might have seen that one in the past. The Time Worn Type embossing
Time Worn
folder.
Type embossing folder. I can't remember the stamp set for that one.
Oh, it had a spooky. I was like, yeah, it was I can't remember.
Yeah.
Not gonna try.
And then, of course, I had to do my swallows. with ink blending. I love the swallows.
Karissa, it goes just like that. Okay. Karissa loves the swallow set.
And
so
they're not carrying over.
It's not carrying over. So if you guys are on the fence, get off the fence and make a decision because these birds the word, are adorable. Say that 3 times fast. This is also the basic borders dies that was used on this one. Okay.
And then we got Ranunculus Romance.
And these are the
and the Picture This Dies.
Carrying over.
Yep.
Ranunculus Romance is carrying over too.
Also.
Yep. Very cool.
And I just used the blues and grays for the background.
Some classic matte dots.
And then I did a winterish card.
Cool. Inspired canopy dies, which are not carrying over. Okay. No. With some bluebirds.
Yep.
Very
cool. I love
cool.
my bluebirds.
Yes, she loves bluebirds. I tried to put cardinals on, and she was like, no, bluebirds. She loves bluebirds. Okay.
I love cardinals too, but blue is my color.
Yeah, she loves blue. Crane, Symbols of Fortune.
Symbols of Fortune, which is my second favorite.
The Borders dies again.
Yep, Borders dies. And then I did the Seize the Day with alcohol blending in the background to make it look like watery.
This is a different, it's not a different crazy card, but it opens like that.
Yep.
So it's got like an arm is what I call that. And she's got the alcohol blending piece here and on the left and right side. Okay, super cool.
And then I did this one with Nature's Harvest. I believe this was a mystery card night.
It is, the layout.
The layout, yep.
Yes. And the background is sale-a-bration paper, it looks like, from August, September time period.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I had to do bees. So this is my bees card. And
kind of like the mystery card layout without the side, but this is a fun fold.
Nope, it's a fun fold.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's got the double flap. I think Kelly just did a technique Thursday.
She did.
On this.
Yeah, from the waves. Oh, yeah, the waves.
Yep. And then I used the honeycomb embossing
the
folder. And then here's the embossed piece.
And it's embossed with...
Or not embossed, sorry.
Oh, okay.
The alcohol blended piece.
It kind of looked like it was slightly, but it's not. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Cool color combination. So what blends was that cider and Misty?
No, it is...
It's soft suede. Oh, she's got her notes.
It is dark cinnamon and dark misty.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool combination of colors. So pretty. She pulled in some of the doilies, the champagne rhinestones, some vellum, and that's all from the die set from the bees. Yeah. Super cool samples. All right. That's all we have, I think. Okay. So just a quick reminder to you guys. Tonight is game night. And the game night, Kelly will be with me live tonight. And for those of you that have registered, you need to make sure you have your 5 lucky numbers with you when we start, okay? If for some reason you don't have them, please reach out to me prior to like 4:30 if possible, because I am always running around like a chicken with my head cut off before class. And so if you could at least reach out to me prior, I can help get your numbers. We try not to do that during the game night because it's all of our responsibility to have our numbers handy beforehand, right? So that's one reminder. The other reminder is that the game night happens in the Stampin' Game Night and Card Workshop with Cards by Christine. And if you missed the announcement this morning, like the reminder that Catch Me Live in the Hive tonight, it has the link for that group. Now, you have to be in that group to be able to watch it. So if you are not part of that group for whatever reason, make sure you accept to join that group and do that before 4:30 as well, because I need to approve you into that group. Oops, sorry, I scratched you. Just feeling up your leg. So just make sure that you're in that group before it starts, because once Kelly and I are live, there's nobody really monitoring it to add you guys, okay? So, and we wanna make sure that you're in there for it. So yeah, and you guys, it's free to watch. And if you feel inclined to want to have your own 5 lucky numbers, like let's say you didn't pay for the event to get kits, make sure that you can play along, but not telling us. Okay, so just like a little note, and I'll say that in the evening of the event as well. So. I don't know, what else? Is that it? It's time to eat, I think. We are starving Marvins. And so we just wrapped up our series, you guys. In all honesty, we aired all these, or we videotaped these all 3 right in a row. So we've been at it for a couple hours now. So we're very happy that you were joining us. We hope that you learned something. People have been asking for this from Karissa, and it's hard for me to do a class with this, because of needing all the blends and the rubbing alcohol, and it's hard for your cards to, so we wanted to do this as a technique Thursday. It just seemed easier, and Karissa was willing to do it after she got her arm twisted enough. There are no marks or bruises, so it was all good. So all right, you guys, we hope we kept it entertaining for you as well. So, and maybe she'll do another one in the future. Yeah, mark her head nodding no, that she will probably. So all right, you guys, lots of sunshine, love, and hugs to you. We'll see you tonight for game night. Bye.